Suzanne. Yeah, so now we'll go into the yarn Q&A session after those presentations. So I'll just invite all the speakers back up and for Suzanne to stay online. So Marg and everyone come back up, and then we'll get a mic out and about to take any questions and comments and have a little chat about that great stuff. So we got some mics going around. Did you want to say, did you want to talk? I've got a question because we had the artwork, the Seven Sisters was just shown before, but if did you want to say a few words about it? Did you want to hold it? I mean, we held it up before, but you might not have been able to see because you're on, I don't know if that camera vision can.
Sorry, Suze, you probably can't see. I'm not sure whether you can see us, but I've actually got a Seven Sisters artwork, dreaming artwork here, because there was some actually some members of the Forrester family out the front. That's why I was late. I did get a chance to ask them to come and explain the painting. But did you want to just maybe explain a little bit about the dreaming? So what I'm just, in case you can't see it, it's Milky Way Seven Sisters Dreaming that I'm holding up.
Yes, you can see it.
Yeah, I can see it. That's beautiful. I can see it on the wall. It's just, it's pretty amazing, and I can't wait to share. It's our big Seven Sister law wall. It's 180 meters long with thousands of petroglyphs and etchings on it. Very old. Yeah, and it's been an honor to have Uncle walk, and also I've recently just gone out and connected up with Rini and Ninku from Wurundjeri, and because for you know, it wasn't something, but the importance of how we have to reawaken and reconnect and learn this Old Testament story of the Seven Sisters, our first law story that created our cultural landscape. Yeah.
So the artist is Isabel Major, but this is a coincidence. This is not planned, but I just thought that's the power of this place.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, great. All right, any questions out there? Any comments?
I guess this is for Suzanne too. Just you said that you're just in the western part of the Galilee Basin. Was that right? So is the land where Adani is doing their stuff, their dirty stuff, is that right next to you? And do you have anything to do with Adani and the people who are trying to protect that country?
Absolutely. They're about 118 kilometres as far as the crow flies from us. And just before I started the session, 5 of them came across, because it's 3 hours drive across to see us, to visit. So they come across. So yes, we play good cop, bad cop. And so the beautiful thing is we have country, because we've got Pajingabulla and how we connect. And for us, it's important of how we connect through our songlines and reconnect that very strong cultural understanding. And that's where it's been really lovely having Uncle Vincent walk with the young men in particular, and Kuds. So yes, we connect up with them very much so in doing our work, our springs and how they connect, and the work that the scientists are coming out to our property and monitoring our springs so that we're able to monitor what goes on over there. So we're doing some really good stuff when it comes to that connection. So thanks for the question. Yeah.
Hi, Susan. Anna knows me. I'm Payi Linda Ford. I'm from Kurinjul, which is up near Darwin, southwest of Darwin. and I'm from swampy floodplain country. So we don't have particular rock hole places that we clean out like that place that you were showing us there, that very special place and very powerful place. And we saw that on your presentation. So thank you very much for that. It's amazing how our mob can connect to our country and to the animals and all the species that are inhabit that area. And I loved hearing you saying how that connectedness and relationship with country is so powerful in the way that we understand and in the way that we know and have been taught these things by our old people. And I just really, really felt connected with you. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
And the way that you're managing your country and how you put in your fire breaks around those particular sites. We've done similar practices on our own country. So we've had floodplain country that we've had to protect, but we've also had to protect sacred sites from fires, and particular what we call Mangarayana, which are the dry jungles where the water is under the ground. So when the animals go there, they can dig it and get water. But we usually put a fire break around those to stop the fire from burning that. But a lot of other pastoralists on other property, they don't know to do that. So they're the sorts of things that we know and understand about looking after that country. And I always think maybe we should be teaching them about those things. But will they listen?
Well, you know, we're leading by example. We invited them all to our workshop last year, in February last year, and invited the whole district, fire wardens, all of them to come. They didn't come. And then one of them decided September last year, about an hour's drive from us, but we can see his country. He said he was going to burn in September, windy. We hadn't had rain, dry. And I said, oh, a bit dry to be doing it now, you know. Oh no, September, you got to burn in September. It's like, oh, you should wait for some rain, you know. Well, let us know if you want us to come over and give you a hand, because he was by himself on his property. Well, he didn't, and that fire burnt for 2 weeks and burnt out Cudmore National Park. We lost art site in that and burnt out, you know. And so, but now we watch our neighbours around and they're actually following our lead, and it's just been so beautiful to watch, because they're also, what they're watching now is, and what we've really observed is, when we burn a paddock, at least a day or two after that, we'll get a good dump of rain on that paddock. It's been amazing. And these are the things that, for us to be able to reinstate our ceremonies and our practices, and these are part of our cultural practices of country and land management. Napachi, you give, it comes back. And that's what's been, you know, we're so lucky to have that opportunity to be taught that from Uncle. Thank you.
Ngapati. I'd like to invite you to be part of our conversation with my colleague here.
Yeah, sure.
Veronica Matthews. And we're leading our Indigenous project for HEAL, which is Healthy Environments and Lives. And if you could come on and join us in those conversations, that'd be fantastic.
I would love to, thank you.
Uncle as well.
Yeah.
And that would be wonderful. And if you've got a lot of young people, youth, we're looking to really establish that. And we've got the project for 4 years, and
yeah,
we need more grassroots people.
Absolutely. Well, I open the invitation to come out for a visit. Let's have a yarn about it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nadlawakai.
No.
That's my Maranunga language I'm talking to you.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I think we had another question at the back.
Hi, Susan.
Hello.
I'm just interested in the schools and the Indigenous kids and how much cultural knowledge is involved in the curriculum in the schools, you know, whether bush medicine and bush food and other cultural practices have been included in the curriculum. Thanks.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, I think we know that we're a long way from, you know, that being included, because firstly, if we're going to include it into our curriculum, then we need to be the ones that are leading that conversation as First Peoples with that knowledge. And I always like to share stories, because I know my son, when he was in year, I think doing cultural studies in year 9 at school, and he failed. He actually failed cultural studies. And I remembered Mama Bear wasn't happy, and I went up to the school and I said, how did this happen? Like, he knows his cultural dance, he knows his, you know, everything we've been brought up with. We got all of this, you know, walking two worlds stuff. And then I looked, and it was a young non-Indigenous teacher who got taught through her uni on how to teach this particular subject, and he didn't match. And so it was like, so what we're trying to do, and I think we've been a really good opportunity in truth telling, and under this guesting with school groups coming out, we're confident we've got a good 5 days to address different curriculum areas for them. We have dinosaur tracks on the property, and we actually have a plesiosaurus etched on the wall, and this is all being validated. So there's a whole lot of big stuff that happens for them to be able to see that. We harvest, if the bush foods are out, they get to harvest the bush tucker and the bush foods in that time as well. And, you know, and I think one of the things that we had year 8 students come out recently, and I asked them what they thought about, you know, the experience, and they all said they couldn't wait to get a job to come out, because it excited them to know that they're learning about their environment scientifically, whether it's waterways, whether it's through their ecologies, or I said, you know, we could do herping, where we get a young herpist and ecology, it comes out, you know, and he'll show you how to find reptiles, or, you know, what are the insects in the environment, so they have a broader understanding about their whole world. You know, and that's the things. And I think the truth telling also comes in that, where we had this Winton school came down, and there's a sculpture trail that's around our sort of on your way out to the property, and it does a big loop around, and where a local artist has done a lot of scrap metal sort of sculptures and stuff. And there's one particular sculpture that's been done, and it's a horseman with a hat and a gun and bullets over it, sitting on top of this escarpment. Now, we know right behind that is where the massacre site was, Melbourne's Gorge Massacre. And so we're quite challenged by that, and we would like that removed or a sign put up. And these young people, when they asked me the questions about the property and whatnot, and I got the opportunity to let them know the reason why we've renamed this property from Gracevale to Tarabara, is that was the name of the clan that was massacred, and we're honouring them because they were the protectors and keepers of this story, that you're learning about life as it is. And we need to talk about that. Well, they've took it upon themselves when they got back to Winton, because there's a place up there called Skull Hole as a tourist attraction, and people go out and swim in this water hole, where 200 of the people out there were rounded up into that gorge and shot. And so, but they're told not to talk about that. They're told that's a secret. We don't talk about that. And so I think through country, us having the opportunity to reconnect and to teach culture up for our next generations, because and how we're growing up the next ones, I think is a good opportunity. I think we can start to heal and those truths, and the young people having the opportunity to find their voice to say enough's enough. We don't tell secrets, because these are all our mates, you know, and I think we live in a very different world now, where we have permission to celebrate our culture and permission to talk our language and to reinstate that culture and that law. And I'm a strong believer that we've got to take the time to reinstate that. And I, you know, appreciate where we're going with the Uluru Statement and those things, but I think we need to be very patient with what our next governing structure might look like for us as a people. So all of this great work we do isn't undone, especially when it comes to land management. Thank you.
Great. Well, very powerful message to, I think, end the Q&A on, and we'll move to the next segment, which is a music video.